So we're going to talk about ellipses. I've already got one sitting here in front of us, and if you don't know what an ellipse is, it's kind of like a circle, but they can exist in various widths, or technically the term is degrees. The reason that it's called a degree, at least I think, is because as you turn say you had a circular coin in front of you, and you turned it 90 degrees gradually, so like 10, 20, 30, 40, all the way to 90 degrees, you'd find that this circle would gradually become thinner and thinner and thinner until it was just a flat line. And at this point, it would have a degree of 0. And if it was a perfect circle, it would have a degree of 90. And that relates to the fact that you are taking this circle and rotating it 90 degrees to reach this point. And so this would be something like, I don't know, maybe around 30 or 40 degrees. So in terms of terminology, when we're talking about a degree, we're really talking about the width of the ellipse. We've also got a minor axis and a major axis. Ironically, the major axis does not matter. We don't use it for anything particularly significant. It's all about the minor axis. And when we start talking about things like cylinders, we will better grasp why the minor axis is so important. For now, though, you can picture that if this ellipse actually represented say a coin in 3D space, the minor axis would represent a line coming out through the center of the coin, fully perpendicular to its surface. Meaning that if you had like a line going across there, you'd have a 90-degree angle between the minor axis and this line defining the surface of the coin. But none of that really matters right now. We'll worry about it more when we talk about cylinders, which is going to be a little while yet. So the first ellipse exercise is about drawing a table. So you do this with a ruler, and you fill up your page with these rows. Let's do it like that. And what you do is you just draw ellipses in these rows. Ghost your line first, don't forget to do that, and execute your line confidently. I don't want to see any of this kind of slow nonsense, because it results in an ellipse that looks kind of wobbly and bumpy. And I also don't want to see you trying to execute them in one go. I'm better at it because I've had a lot of practice, but what I want you to do is draw through your ellipse. What that means is you'll notice here that I am drawing around the ellipse 2 full times. So what this does, it's got a few benefits, but when you're drawing more confidently, like what the ghosting method and our general approach to executing lines uses, drawing through your ellipse an extra time will help you kind of maintain the kind of control that we need when it comes to drawing a single nice ellipse. It also allows you to develop twice as much muscle memory, or at least it gives you kind of the movement around the ellipse twice as many times. You can do it 3 times as well, but 2 is ideal, and any more than 3, don't be excessive. So the point of this exercise is you draw an ellipse, then you draw another ellipse directly beside it. This first ellipse has actually I kind of screwed that up. You want to focus on sitting in between your bounds. So you've got this line here, and then this line, and this one, these are the bounds for your ellipse. You currently have no bound on this side. But as you keep drawing more and more ellipses, you'll have the one before it act as the bound for the next one. So you want to keep them snug. You also want to try and reproduce the same angle. So this one, if you look at its major axis, I guess, you'll see that it's tilted a little bit, and we want to keep repeating that. And it's kind of difficult to do so, but it's part of the practice. And we just fill in a row with little clones of the ellipses. Try and draw these with your shoulder. It can be tricky, but it's part of the practice. Just like I've said in the lines exercise, lines spiels really, that you want to maintain a consistent trajectory. So you would not be able to draw an ellipse that big, or at least not as big as it is on my screen, with your wrist, because you're going to end up getting all kinds of weird. You do need to learn how to engage your shoulder in all of these kinds of motions, so keep pushing yourself. While it may be uncomfortable and awkward, keep pushing yourself to use that shoulder for all of these kind of continuous, even, and smooth trajectories. So you may want to then in the next row do something a little different. So maybe you want to do wider degrees. You want to have lots of variation. And remember that while we are keeping them within our bounds as best as we can, that is our second priority. Our first priority is always the smoothness and evenness. How do you spell it? Well, we want to keep our ellipses smooth and even, because I am not going to misspell a word purposely on video. Second priority is accuracy. So that means fitting within bounds. And for that reason, I don't want to see anything like this, where you're drawing circles inside of circles, because it's too vague. There's no clear point where you want to, where the ellipse is supposed to fall. It's just kind of don't touch the outside. It's just the vagueness. It throws off the point of the exercise. It's better to have a very clear criteria of I succeeded or I failed. It helps more for learning. You may also want to play with something like adding a line on a kind of wave through your row, and then you can try and fit circles or ellipses within that space, or the spaces that are created. I'm not doing very good at this. And you can always go back and kind of identify, well, I kind of messed up here, and here, and here, and here, and here, and really everywhere. But the point is that it's an exercise that you kind of develop over time. And so that's pretty much the gist of this exercise. There's not a whole lot more to it, but it can be time consuming. Just make sure that with each ellipse, I don't want you to kind of be drawing this ellipse and then thinking about, say, this ellipse while you're doing it. Don't think ahead. Focus on what you're doing in the moment. Plan out your strokes, apply the ghosting method, and execute with confidence. As long as you do that, you will improve over time. And accept that you're not going to be perfect right off the bat. You are going to mess up plenty, and that is genuinely a major part of the learning process.